2017, Game of Thrones is not run yet, people still think Arena is a type of beer, and a new game just released that is about to change everything. This game is getting over it. Considered by many to be the hardest game ever made, it will mark the beginning of a golden age for what is now called rage games. But now, it's 5 years later, and as a VR fan, I've been waiting so long for the perfect VR rage game to come, but it never did. That's why this week I'm going to do this myself and make the hardest game ever created in VR. So this guy's name is apparently Diogenes, and if I want to remake him in VR, I first needed to find a good 3D model of a half-naked muscular human in a cold run. And after a Google search that should not be done in public, I found this model which was good enough. But you see, no matter how I moved the leg, it didn't fit. So the trick I found was to scale them down. Perfect, I now had the body ready, then I jump in VR, made the old character follow my controllers using inverse kinematic, and of course the last touch was to add this hammer to follow both my hands. Now I started by making it follow the left hand, then point it at the right hand, and finally animate my finger to make it seem like they are holding the handle. Okay, everything was working for now, but the trickier part was about to come, and I'm talking of course about the movement. You see, in Getting Over It, you can control your hammer and use it as a kind of lever to move yourself around. To recreate something similar in VR, I got inspired by the movement system from Gorilla Tag, where you can kind of climb by punching the ground with your fist. Okay, pew, so I think I got somewhere. I just built this simple scene to test everything by stacking some cube and modeling some slope, but now the moment of truth, if I hit the ground, as you can see, I can move around, I can even build some speed, and now the real magic happens. If I just slightly push the hammer down, I can lift myself up like in the game. This is awesome, and we can use this same principle to climb. But at this point, I had still one thing missing. You see, in Getting Over It, the steeper the slope, the harder it is to climb. So to have this in my game, I went back to work a bit more on the Unity physics system, deal with some new bugs, search what would cause them, found a solution online that is making it even worse for some reason, finally delete everything, get rid of the physics, and do it all from scratch. Okay, there you go. Now, as you can see, I can climb down some slope, but some are too steep, and I have here this slippery parameter that can turn any surface into a giant slider. But enough with this weird looking scene. At this point, I was confident about the movement system, so it was time to test it on the big boy. Okay, so this is a picture of the old Getting Over It map. I had actually no idea it was this big. Of course I would, if the game was not that hard to finish. Anyway, after working a few minutes on the scene, I realized how impossible it would be to remake the whole thing with the time I had left. Unless... oh my god! So this map was kindly shared to me by the modding community of the game that use it to create their own custom mods. I have absolutely no idea how they got it. I am not even sure it is legal, so let's just keep this a secret between you and me. And let's see how this map will turn out in VR. So I guess everybody remembered these rocks at the start that believe every person trying out the game, but now with the power of the third dimension, we can simply go around. But put aside some part of the map, everything works out really well. Really make you think if it was not meant to be a 3D game in the first place. Now, what I found really hard was to actually locate in the level. So to fix this, I made this simple map to show where the player is. But at this point, my game was still incomplete. You see, in Getting Over It, the whole level is filled with little happenings to spice up your climb to the top, like this one. So to remake that effect, I use Unity particle system to spawn a dozen of bats, animate them over a sprite sheet, and shift them randomly to the side. This turned out really cool in VR. But the next happening was about to change everything. You see, at some point in the game, you meet this snake, and if you dare to ride it against all warning, you end up going down and lose every progress you made so far. But I had no idea how to remake that effect in VR, and nothing seemed to work. Until I remembered the slippery surface that we made earlier. Now, instead of a snake going down, we have this slide. Fun fact, this is actually all procedurally generated, because of course, modeling everything like a normal human being would have been too easy. So instead, I programmed this mesh to go along this basic curve, which means that I can change it as I want and even play with the length and the shape of the side. And I must say, again, the result was really fun to try. Whee! Okay, so the next step was to work on the ending of the game. I don't know why actually, because nobody will reach it. Of course, I'm going to keep this a secret for now to not spoil you anything. Finally, it was time to tackle the last step of the game, and I'm talking of course about sound design. I imported this sound into Unity and make them play when the hammer touches something. But Getting Over It is also famous for these random voice lines during the game.
If you got your best shirt dry cleaned before a wedding, and then immediately dropped food on it.
So for this is where I will need your help. You can write down a random quote in the comment section below. The one with the most upvote will be added in the game. Hope you guys enjoyed the making of this project, but the game is not ready to be shared yet, so be patient. First, because it is not that optimized at all, so it will make your computer explode. And secondly, because I want to add my own touch to the game and not just rip what was already made. So you better subscribe to not miss when the game will be ready. If you want to learn how to do this yourself, you can also subscribe to my second YouTube channel, Valem Tutorials. Big shout out also to my Patreon that are appearing on the screen right now and that are supporting my work. And if like them, you want to have access to exclusive content and the source code of all of my tutorials, join us, link in the description. Thank you for watching and see you soon. Bye bye.